At this time, please stand for the national anthem performed by the ICS Symphony Orchestra. Good afternoon. On behalf of the entire ICS staff, I welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the International Community School Class of 2022. Joining us this afternoon are Superintendent Dr. John Holman, Associate Superintendent Matt Gillingham, Assistant Superintendent Dale Cody, and Director of Secondary Education, Dr. Matt Livingston. Representing the Lake Washington School District Board of Directors, we are joined by Director Siri Bleesner and Dr. Chris Carlson. We will begin this afternoon with remarks from Dr. Holman, followed by Dr. Carlson.
Good afternoon, graduating class of 2022. We are here to celebrate you today. So today we're here to celebrate the accomplishments of these young people here in front of us today. We're here to recognize significance, a special point in time for our students where the community comes together to lift them up as they launch into their life's journey. The act of graduation is symbolic of an individual accomplishment, but for each individual sitting here today, there's a series of people along the way that have made this accomplishment possible. So while we're here recognizing our young people, today is also about recognizing the people, the groups, the organizations that have committed to the success of these students. To our graduates, I'm so proud of what you have accomplished. No one understands what growing up and succeeding has been like as a young person these last few years. Hard, yes, but significance never comes easy. You've learned one of the most valuable lessons in life, that through struggle grows grit, determination, and the ability to finish. You've also experienced the value of success. We all are here striving for something, and there will always be setbacks. Having success to look back on will help you as you navigate your life's journey. Finally, never forget those around you, those that helped you along the way, those that cared for you, because each of them are vested in your success. 2022 graduates, today we honor you in this significant milestone. Congratulations.
Teachers, staff, family, and friends, we're here today to celebrate the class of 2022. Speaking on behalf of the Lake Washington School District Board of Directors, I would normally restate the mission and vision of the district and try to offer as much inspiration as is possible in 2 minutes. But these are not normal times, and the graduating class of 2022 is no ordinary class. I promise not to use the word resilient. Before we get to the graduates, The school board is tremendously proud of the community of teachers, family, staff, administrators, and friends who've helped these students get here today. Graduating students in the class of 2022, on behalf of the board, we are extremely proud of you, and we're inspired by you. We believe you are graduating prepared for success wherever your path leads. Thank you.
Okay, I get to make one mistake today, and I already did it. Adding to our list of distinguished guests, we have joining us today Assistant Superintendent Dr. Joy Ross. Welcome parents, extended families, friends, and all those who love and support members of the class of 2022. Parents, as you look down at this amazing group of students, remember, you didn't only help your own child get here. Your commitment to our school, our community, made it possible for every student to get here. Thank you for your time, your resources, partnership, and belief in our mission. We will miss you too. Teachers and staff, thank you. You are so dedicated to preparing our students for life. They are prepared for the best colleges in the world and the most complex workplaces. You have inspired the love of learning and the desire to see the world. You spent almost 2 years teaching these students remotely. This was not easy. You never gave up, and our students are as prepared today as they would have been if we were in person. Thank you. Graduates, today is your day. I'm very happy for you that we are in person, celebrating your accomplishments in the grand way you deserve. I marvel at your perseverance and the grace with which you handled your challenging high school journey. Thank you. You came to ICS as smart kids. I can often be heard saying that we are very lucky at ICS. We get really good kids. At ICS, you've learned a lot, and you're leaving ICS with wisdom. You understand that in addition to sharing your ideas, you must listen to others. You know learning isn't about quickly finding the answer. You trust your intuition and judgment to challenge information. You are no longer satisfied simply solving a problem. You endeavor to inspire others and value collaboration. You came to us knowing it's right to promote diversity. You leave us equipped to be an ally to those targeted by oppression. You have polished your voices. We always tell graduates, you are now ready for the real world. I don't really know what that means. I didn't know what it meant when I was 18. So I'm going to say to you, go see the world. Find your place as a global citizen. Be curious, adventurous, and open-minded, and be active and responsible stewards of the planet. And if nothing else, remember that all of that only matters if you are okay. Be well, take breaks, remember to breathe, and take care of yourselves. We will miss you. Congratulations, the class of 2022. We will now hear from 3 of our graduates with our student speakers. Noah.
I'm a little bit short, sorry. About 7 years ago, I was seated across my parents in our living room. Little old 5th grader me wasn't really paying attention to the conversation they were saying. Something along the lines of, middle school is the first important decision you'll make, or I've got to be careful, or something like that. I didn't listen, and as you can tell by my perfect synopsis of their conversation, I didn't really try to. Except when I heard 3 words. Unlike everything else that was spoken, these 3 words, for a lack of a better cliche, stuck out like a sore thumb. I was appalled by them. I was shocked that my parents would say something like that to an innocent mind. What were those 3 words? Be a sponge. They wanted me to be a sponge. The little synthetic square that you use to scrape off the dirty dishes. You want me to clean up after people's dirt? You want me to have larger pores than I already have? Absolutely not. And I did not agree with that for the next 7 years. I could not be a sponge. Unfortunately, the little saying never seemed to go away. Somehow it always came back to haunt me. From the minimal times I washed dishes to the weird corner sponges that I'll find at my work, they just never left me alone. I decided to give it a chance. I needed to research what made this putrid object so important. Why was I supposed to be a sponge? So I did what any trusted ICS student would do to research. I went to Wikipedia. Wikipedia has 3 articles about sponges. I did not know that. After skimming through each of the articles, my annoyance for this object only solidified. There was nothing in these articles that told me why I was supposed to be a sponge. They just reiterated everything I hated about sponges. But I was determined. There had to be a reason that my parents told me to be a sponge, and there had to be a reason that sponge kept on coming into my life. So I did the second thing any trusted ICS student would do. I went to talk to a teacher. Thank you, Mr. Snowden, by the way. Mr. Snowden didn't give me the answer. He was not willing to give me the answer, but instead gave me the options and opportunities to look at sponges in a different light. Throughout the conversation, he continued to hint at the idea that there was more than the physical appearance and the objective of a sponge that I was so hooked onto. So here, as I use my 7 years of analyzation skills from humanities, was the meaning I was able to come up for the reason to be a sponge. A synthetic sponge's purpose is to absorb, scrub, and clean. Its porous material allows for water to seep into the sponge, and it in turn grows. We are like sponges, but instead of grimy water, we soak up experiences, success, failures, to grow as an individual. The good and the bad, we go through life learning to further ourselves. But we have to learn to care for these sponges, because after a few weeks or months, they grow bacteria, and a new sponge is needed in place of the old one. The idea that the sponge goes bad continues to encourage the mindset that we need to take care of ourselves. We are delicate, and we deserve to treat others with respect. Not only can we be synthetic sponges, we can be sea sponges as well. A creature that thrives in an environment and habitat with other organisms encourages us as individuals to learn how to grow with those around us, to appreciate the relationships we've formed and continue to form. As we, as a class of ICS 2022, part ways to begin our lives, it's important to recall that we are always growing and learning, and that no one path is the correct one. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's not really too bad to be a sponge. Thank you. And before I leave, just the one time I get this experience to do so, everybody say cheese. Thank you. And our next student speaker will be Rishi.
All right. Yeah, I promised my mom I'd do this, so before we start. All right, everyone, once more. Okay. All right. What? Yep. Memories. Okay, give me 1 second to get this ready. All right. Ah, the Phoenix, a one-of-a-kind mascot for a one-of-a-kind school. It radiates peace, balance, harmony, and prosperity. according to the Google search I did this morning. But yeah, you get the idea. In a sea of generic animals like kangaroos and wolves, and even huskies for that matter, it's distinctive. Now, if you're predicting that I'm gonna compare our class to the Phoenix and say how we're exactly like the aforementioned traits, then congratulations, you're 100% wrong. I've been at this school so long, I was running 5Ks and the chess stables were still a thing. So I've seen a lot happen. And it's fair to say that this has been one hell of a bumpy ride. From the times we struggled to get through Hatchet and later Miss Pape's class, to our first of many bouts with El Idioma Español with Profe Fernandez. From getting handcuffed by Mr. Over, to fixing the gender divide issue, which we wrote during our sophomore retreat, but were only really able to solve our senior year. Then there was the time when our class lost around 30 students before high school, as we've affectionately deemed our class getting Thanos'd. Do you know how many jokes I had to hear about the number of people in our grade? Wow, your school dances must be so fun with a whopping 10 people dancing to my mom's 2000s playlist. And you know what hurt the most? For the most part, they weren't wrong. I mean, what else can you expect from a school that calls their cafeteria the Lyceum? I could spend the rest of the day going on, but all of you have waited long enough for that diploma. And jokes aside, I'd be lying if I said we weren't a successful class. During COVID, my only social interaction within ICS was limited to screaming at Isaiah to work on FBLA over Discord calls. I'd never go interact with new people because we all seem pretty happy in our own cliques. And this sentiment I carried throughout high school. Speaking of which, that's not the only thing I carried through high school. The three of you know who you are. Hope you guys are having a good day. I promised you 5 seconds of airtime. Okay. But this feeling disappeared after coming back from quarantine and seeing how much we thrived when we were together in one whole group. We pulled Camp Phoenix off within 2 months of seeing each other, and the camaraderie reinstated my love for the community here. Something I forgot was ICS's pièce de résistance. I graduated for a reason, yep. It really helped me, a quieter guy, come out of my shell, a phrase that was written in my yearbook so many times that you could have mistaken me for a turtle. Academically, we've done a lot. Every single NHD plan, every night we spent polishing our essay, every bio showcase, every online class that you slept through, every single grueling college app essay that you tried to ooze your passions onto the paper while incorporating stream of consciousness and flowery imagery. Perhaps our biggest achievement as a class was never falling victim to the roller backpack curse. Isn't it freaking infuriating when a middle schooler with the most innocent face takes out 5 upperclassmen on the way to lunch? I don't know if it's the seasoning or on the tater tots or something, but the 6th graders run so fast you'd think we weren't one of the least sporty schools in the district. On top of these accomplishments, there's an effervescence and joy that I've seen since we were 6th graders egging on our counselors at Camp Cispus till we sang our hearts out to karaoke at Payphone. It's contagious, it's invigorating. I could impart some wisdom right now, but the only thing I can say is thank you. Thank you for the smiles, the posters we colored, the jokes about how I look like Baljeet from Phineas and Ferb, the volleyball games we played during 7th when we weren't supposed to, and fake cluelessness when Zach caught us. If there's 2 things ICS taught me, it's 1, Roma Kayo, and 2, to develop as a person, the people you surround yourself with are the people who help you do so. To the 42 of you, I'm grateful, and I wouldn't trade the memories we made here for anything, except for a DJ Danger Plan concert ticket. We might seem to be the class of anti-Phoenixes, but the one thing I guarantee, is we will always rise from the ashes because of the relationships we built here. At 47 degrees north, 122 degrees west, the best high school in the state, international community school. You'll always have this shared experience to reflect upon, no matter how far you go, so treasure it. Congrats on everything, guys, and you deserve it. I love you all, and forever we rise. Yep.
Next, we'll have Lucy Zhang.
Wow, we finally made it. Good afternoon to the class of 2022, families, friends, and teachers. I know many of us have been looking forward to this day for months, even years. The sentiment was definitely echoed immediately after we turned in the last few college apps. I'm betting many of the teachers here are pretty excited for this too. I mean, senioritis hit us pretty hard, and I know Miss She can definitely attest to that with her large stack of late work. So I guess they're excited to hand this group of procrastinators off to other hands. But I'd also have to guess that they're really, really proud of us, watching a small group of rowdy sixth graders, or whichever grade you entered in, blossom into individuals with ambition and direction. Whether it's watching Kyle code a game in AP Stats, or Maxwell personifying an orange to flaunt the teeth of a horse during AP Chem, I've greatly enjoyed to get to know all of your guys' interests, hobbies, and goofy sides. I remember when I was told that I'd been accepted into ICS, I was sold by the fact that I'd won a lottery. After attending a few days of school and then being whisked off to Camp Cispus, it slowly became apparent to me that a few kids were excited for mandatory art classes and challenging English and Spanish courses, while many others, if not majority, were attending at the behest of their parents. The common talk was that they would stick around for a few years and see how it was to see if they'd stay, and all of you guys here have stuck around to the end. Looking back on the past 7 years, we've shared many, many fun and special memories. PE classes with Miss Henry, pumping our arms in the gym with Sean T and Tanya, and stinking up the PE changing room so much that some of you guys went to go buy cans of Febreze and sprayed all of it into the musty room. Or our semester-long drama class, also known as poster-making class, with none other than Miss Garm. Our field trip class with Mr. Over, and having a class vote to name his stuffed animal, whom we ended up naming Harumbai. And then came the summer before 9th grade, where practically half of our grade left, and in exchange, we got to welcome many new classmates. Then came our hilarious attempts at dancing for Profe Miranda's Spanish 3 final, and also our attempts to implement our service learning projects with Mr. Peter Donaldson and Miss Houlihan. Or Ben's persistent attempts to eat apples during Miss Jackson's class, which ultimately ended up with his apples being thrown away, a stunned, might I add, silent classroom, and a fuming Miss Jackson. Then came the not-so-funny memory of the initial months of the COVID outbreak. And now, senior year, our first year back to in-person school in a long, long time as an entire grade. We read Toni Morrison's book, Song of Solomon, and experienced the initial stages of shock as Mr. Plank discussed strange but legit allusions to a very specific type of imagery, until we finally just learned to accept it as a common theme in his classroom. We took the prize for being the most underperforming senior class Mr. Huberman has taught in his decades of teaching. And recently at the senior retreat, joining efforts to free Ben's bouncy ball, Wise's soccer ball, Eugene's volleyball, and a big stick from the branches of a large tree on the grassy lawn. Or, my personal favorite, flipping Schuessler in his bright green kayak during the paddleboarding session. With all these special memories, when people come up to me and ask if I regret going to ICS, I suppress my desire to instantly respond with a yes or no, and rather describe the belly-aching laughs, the focus week trips, and the people that I've gotten to know. And now that we've all finally reached the end of our ICS journey, I've realized that my answer is that I don't regret attending ICS. I regret the opportunities there that I didn't take. So as we enter this new chapter in our lives, whether it's 20 minutes away from home or a couple thousand miles away on the other coast, I'd like to remind us to be mindful of all the opportunities around us, to be brave in seizing them, to be persistent in pursuing them, and to be kind and intentional through our deeds. As Jeffrey said at our senior retreat, all of us have the gift of making one another laugh, and that's a powerful thing in itself. Let's all harness this gift and share laughter with those around us, one snort and guffaw at a time. This wouldn't be an ICS speech if it didn't have some strange diction in it, would it? I hope you're all very, very proud of yourselves, your accomplishments, and your milestones. And what better way to end this chapter than with our very first and very last senior power chant. Take it away. Senior power! Senior power! All right, thank you. And to stick with the tradition that the previous two speakers have already continued, let us finish with our final grade selfie. All right, thanks.
Nobody told me about the chant. At this time, we will have a student musical performance performed by a group of our seniors, tune collection for the class of 2022, arranged by senior Benjamin Yu.
Families, seniors, and staff, I'm excited to introduce you to Tune Collection for the class of 2022, performed by an ensemble of seniors, 2 teachers, and our special guest of 1 junior. The seniors have handpicked the following songs and transformed them into a medley to represent our time together at ICS and the next chapter of our lives. Starting with an original ICS theme composed by Benjamin Yu, we then have Just the Two of Us by Grover Washington Jr. As Studio Ghibli is also a part of many of our childhoods, we hope you're just excited as we are to hear Merry-Go-Round of Life from Howl's Moving Castle. Our journey at ICS was definitely not entirely sunshine and rainbows. That's why we also have That Funny Feeling by Bo Burnham from Inside. In our medley, we also have My Favorite Things by John Coltrane, a jazzy take on the classic song from The Sound of Music with some snazzy solos. Next, we also have the upbeat, joyful comedy by Gen Hoshino. Following, we have the solemn This Is a Life from the comedy gold, but tear-jerking film, Everything Everywhere All at Once. Lastly, we have My Superhero Movie from the Teen Titans Go movie. Even though the song is from a kids' movie, we hope you can find some sentimental aspects from this silly but introspective song. With that, we hope you enjoy. We deeply hope you've enjoyed this performance. It's been a pleasure to watch this talented ensemble write, practice, and collaborate to bring you this medley. It's amazing that we were able to bring what was once a vision to life. As we are here today to celebrate our ICS graduates, here are a few words from each senior ensemble member. From Hoda, thank you to everyone who has supported me during my ICS experience. Every conversation and every laugh has meant the world. From Julia, it has been such a blessing to be able to spend the past 5 years with this grade and this community. ICS class of 2022, I love and will miss you all so very much. From Anna, dear ICS class of 2022, thank you for all the beautiful memories we made together. I'll truly cherish every second of them. To my lovely teachers and family, thank you for shaping me into the person I am today. Here's to celebrating new beginnings and bittersweet goodbyes. From Haley, thank you to everyone who has made our grade and the last 7 years so special. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you. It's sad these times have to end, but I'm excited for the new adventures we will all discover in the next chapter of our lives. From Thomas, thank you to each teacher and student from my past 7 years at ICS. In 6th grade, I was skeptical I would stay at ICS for long, but I stayed for 7 years, and I couldn't have done it without this amazing community. From Ben, 7 years, and what a way we spent those 7 years. Hallway greetings, grade cheers, to mutualist group projects, all culminating to something that can only be described as the ICS experience. Thank you to my class, any of whom I can call my friend. I had a blast. From Jeffrey, one of the defining features of school is being able to academically learn alongside some of your greatest friends, and going to a small 6 through 12 school has amplified this feature to the max. I'll miss everybody. Thank you so much for listening, and we hope you enjoy the rest of the ceremony. But before that, let's close off with a bang.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, family, and Dr. Holman, I certify that these students have met the graduation requirements as established by the Lake Washington School District and the state of Washington. It's an honor and a privilege to present to you the International Community School graduating class of 2022.
Diana shared that her best memory of ICS was having meaningful conversations. She's especially grateful for the time spent in the library as an assistant, getting book recommendations, and the general conversations and support from library staff. About her future, she hopes she will be someone brave enough to try new things, confident enough to state my opinion, and have enough evidence to say my opinion's right. Her quote from Ray Bradbury exemplifies her ICS experience. There's no use going to the school unless your final destination is the library. Please congratulate Diana Albee.
One of Kaylee's favorite memories from ICS is when her group recorded a Spanish video. Since the video involved a person struck in the face by a branch, she had to use fake blood. After smearing ketchup on her face, Kaylee and her group had a hard time taking the performance seriously. Kaylee writes poetry about fish based on her aquarium she got during Focus Week in 7th grade. She's proud of how those poems mix humor and melancholy. On one of the snow days, Kaylee came to school anyway, and on the quiet walk, she reflected on the beauty of the landscape. It made her think about how much she will miss the Pacific Northwest when she goes to college. Please congratulate Kaylee Larson Allen.
The ICS memory that most sticks in Rishi's mind was camp back in 6th grade. He shared that although before camp he did not know anybody, by the end of the first day he had a strong rapport with his new classmates. It gave him the feeling that we had something special in stock for the next 7 years, and looking back, I was definitely right. Rishi is thankful that ICS gave him a chance to diversify his skill set, such as his advertising class or FBLA. He recognizes that the broad exposure to arts and humanities will make him a much more marketable candidate in the STEM fields. In 5 years, he plans to be well on his way in computer science, hopefully on a path to creating something bigger than me. Please congratulate Rishi Aniga.
Noah believes that sometimes it's about the journey, not the destination. In her journey at ICS, she's especially proud of all the relationships that she was able to form, not only with students in the class of 2022, but teachers in grades above and below. She expects these friendships will continue long past her time at ICS. Her strong voice organized the student body during camp last fall. She led mock trial and even trained the parent volunteers for Battle of the Books. Please congratulate Noah Avitan.
One of Hoda's lasting memories is looking at the stars and moon through the telescope during camp freshman year. The moon seemed so close and yet so far away. She's proud that at every moment during her experience at ICS, whether or not she was successful, she tried her best. Hoda wants to use her creativity to support an environmentally sustainable future. She hopes also to finally understand how music theory works. A favorite quote is, "Here for a good time, not a long time." Please congratulate Hoda Ayad.
Charlie's greatest memory by far was his first ICS camp. He says, "I entered ICS as a scared little boy, afraid of homework and making new friends. At camp, though, he got to meet new people in a fun way, forming friendships that have lasted years. He hopes to look back on the choices he's made in life, particularly at ICS, with nothing but happiness and satisfaction." Charlie quotes author Joe Abercrombie, "I have learned all kinds of things from my many mistakes. The one thing I never learn is to stop making them." Please congratulate Charles Walter Wilson Botsford. Serena most enjoyed taking anatomy and physiology and participating in HOSA, the high school club for future healthcare professionals. She loved spending time with friends during lunch, listening to early 2000s throwbacks, and laughing until her stomach hurt. Despite the sometimes chaotic and challenging events in the world, Serena thinks of the words of Virginia Woolf, who said, "Yet sometimes one trembling star in the clear sky and makes me think the world beautiful." Please congratulate Serena Kai.
Not many students can claim to have successfully brought a snowball into their classroom and tossed it around without the teacher noticing. But George did just that, which exemplifies his sense of humor and relaxed attitude. He has fond memories of his high school experiences, including his trip to Japan, taking in the beautiful sights there. 5 years from now, George predicts he will be working in the tech industry, and we expect this world traveler will have many adventures ahead. Please join me in congratulating George Cannon.
Sophia has many fond memories to share. The train ride during the Alaska Focus Week in 8th grade, cheering for friends at awards ceremonies, having a blast at HOSA SLC 2020 right before COVID started, and bus rides to and from Camp Sispis. She's proud of pushing herself out of her comfort zone to become a leader. She thanks her parents for helping her celebrate the wins and get through the tough days. She hopes to be a driven, passionate, and balanced person who strives to succeed and help others in her community in any way she can. Sophia shares this quote, "I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them." Please congratulate Sophia Isabel Detweiler.
For Pranav, his best memory was FBLA Nationals in 9th grade. He felt like he was part of a community rather than an institution, and recognized such opportunities might be rarer at other schools. Pranav said, "If I had to do it all over, there's no way I wouldn't pick ICS." He's proud of the growth he has had in public speaking over the years, going from a book review presentation in 6th grade that left him with sweaty hands to grabbing a microphone on the spot without any worry. His future plans include cybersecurity, as he often tries to find flaws in websites and games rather than browsing or playing them. Please congratulate Pranav Gopalakrishnan.
One good memory that Surya has was going to CMAR for Focus Week in 7th grade. Creating lessons and teaching kids, making their faces light up, was one of the best memories he has from his time at ICS. 5 years from now, Surya would like to graduate from college and hopefully move to another country to pursue his interest in medicine. Recalling his time at ICS, Surya quotes Dumbo, "The very things that hold you down are going to lift you up." Please congratulate Surya Gunasakar.
During her focus week to the CMAR Latino Community Center, Melissa enjoyed connecting with the preschool children. She finally remembers playing tag with the little ones and embracing her inner child. Attending HOSA conferences was another memorable experience. She first learned how to suture a wound and saw her first cadaver there. Melissa plans to put her medical skills to good use as she works towards a master's in pediatrics. An ultimate goal is to travel the world helping children in need. Please congratulate Melissa Gursoy.
In addition to learning K-pop dance during Focus Week, one of Jasmine's favorite ICS memories was early in 6th grade. She was reading her book during lunch and didn't feel the need to socialize. A group of girls invited her to join them. Despite her initial apprehension, she soon found herself laughing and talking with them as if she'd known them her whole life. Those girls are still her greatest friends to this day. She used to be terrified of public speaking, but due to Key Club, FBLA, and advertising class, Jasmine is proud of her growth into a confident speaker. Please congratulate Jasmine Tamara Harry.
As Karen reflects on her time at ICS, she feels her favorite experiences revolve around being with her friends and hanging out together outside school, doing such things as going to restaurants, watching movies, and going shopping. Karen has good memories of her work at ICS and the feeling of accomplishment after completing long and difficult assignments. She's thankful for the teachers who made learning fun. Karen states that she's proud of the person she has become throughout her 4 years at ICS. Please congratulate Karen or Inger.
From her leadership in National Honor Society, to involvement with Science NHS and orchestra, to class retreats and senior spirit events, Mariam represents the best of what it means to be involved in the many unique ICS traditions. Her desire to spread compassion in the lives of others has pushed her to pursue many volunteer opportunities, including leading the most recent hygiene kit drive. She treasures her strong high school friendships. 5 years from now, Mariam expects to pursue a STEM career as she strives to remain curious and to continue spreading compassion, as well as building new friendships. Please join us in congratulating Mariam Iqbal.
I almost skipped one. Keep on track. Eugene is thankful for everyone in the class of 2022 for making every day enjoyable, saying, "I wouldn't have survived without you all." He recalls fondly his trip to Greece for Focus Week and getting to know students of different grades. Eugene is proud of his NHD project in 9th grade, focusing on the science of nuclear fission and the Manhattan Project. A quote that captures his time at ICS is, "I felt like it was watching a dream I could never wake up from. Before I knew it, the dream was over." From Cowboy Bebop. Please congratulate Eugene Karishi.
Julia worked hard as the editor-in-chief of this year's yearbook staff. She got to work with some incredibly talented people in their little team, and she's proud of the final product. She also learned so much about leadership in the process and feels that she's definitely grown as both a team member and a leader. Although in 5th grade, she was unsure about coming to ICS, her parents were adamant that this school would be the right one for her, and they were so very correct. She has spent the best few years here with the best people. Julia's quote is from Thor Ragnarok. Asgard, or in this case, ICS, is not a place, it's a people. Please congratulate Julia Lee.
Vivian is proud of balancing school and rowing, a sport to which she was completely dedicated. She's also proud of fostering strong relationships. She fondly remembers making a Spanish music video in 9th grade. Vivian's group met at Waverly Park to film themselves going down the slides, jumping in the lake, and playing with a beach ball to fit their light and fun Spanish song. She loved watching everyone else's music videos too. In 5 years, she wants to stay creative, maintain her sense of humor, and continue developing lasting friendships. Please congratulate Vivian Lee.
Natanya remembers feeling super cool with her cousin Jasmine, wearing matching pink zip-up hoodies and ponytails in 6th grade. This resulted in many teachers mixing them up with each other. Today, Natanya follows her own distinct fashion sense, interests, and goals. She's proud of persevering through computer science during COVID, especially mastering the concept of recursion. She says, "Overcoming the bugs in my code was incredibly valuable because I proved to myself that I can solve what seems unsolvable." She's thankful for the amazing and caring teachers and close community of ICS. Please congratulate Natanya Elizabeth Lim.
Cora fondly remembers making a rainstorm on a dark night at Camp Sispus. 250 middle schoolers first made the sound of little drips by rubbing fingers together, snapping, then clapping, then stomping their feet to make a thunderstorm. This was the first time she remembers doing anything close to meditating. She felt everyone's sense of awe and wonder. Cora is proud of being oar master on her rowing team. She learned and mastered the art of packing equipment into the trailer bed so that everything remained safely stowed. Please congratulate Cora Madison.
Ryan recalls fondly how upperclassmen provided a welcoming environment to young middle schoolers like himself, especially on the basketball court, where they hyped his every shot. Ryan is proud of his time in ASB and FBLA and of all of the event planning they did. Ryan's friends helped him and pushed him to make sure he performed to the best of his ability. Although it may have been annoying at times, their constant reminder to keep studying and make sure he got his assignments in on time is something for which Ryan is very grateful. Ryan shares the following wisdom. It's not about waiting out the storm, it's about learning to dance in the rain. Please congratulate Ryan Matta.
Taking some inspiration from Kanye's famous words, I still think I'm the greatest. Joe is rightly proud of the amazing videos he created throughout high school for his humanities and science classes. Joe's also proud of going to FBLA Nationals in San Antonio in 2019, getting a first taste of the business world and competing in the sports and entertainment management category. He has good memories of hanging out with friends, playing cards during lunch, and participating in the infamous Cheetos incident. Please join us in congratulating Joe Prince Muthapakal.
Junki fondly recalls his time at Camp Sispus as a middle schooler. What really made an impression on him was how the older students acted as camp counselors that created very comfortable and fun environments in which he could get to know his peers. Junki enjoyed getting to organize and coach soccer games during this year's camp. In 5 years, he sees himself potentially coaching soccer, but also exploring a field that utilizes his talents while hopefully involving his passion for sports and physical activity. Please congratulate Junki Nakamura.
Anna loves the memory of dancing to K-pop with her friends during lunch in 8th grade. They didn't care what people thought and just had fun together, living in the moment. She still loves listening to songs that remind her of those times. Anna is proud of her hard work in math and art that have led her to a place of confidence and enjoyment in those subjects. She thanks the friends who have made her feel loved and understood, and the patient and kind teachers who made their subjects less intimidating and broadened her perspectives. Please congratulate Anna Wynn.
The quote Haley feels that best captures her time at ICS is from St. Catherine of Siena. Be who God meant you to be, and you will set the world on fire. As a friend, student, and musician, she's made the most of her experiences at ICS. She's thankful for teachers' wisdom and entertaining stories, and for making school enjoyable and fun. Some of her favorite ICS memories are creating a talk show for 9th grade humanities project, managing to keep a straight face throughout the performance, and leading the New Gen Gingerbread House decorating contest in 10th grade. Please join us in congratulating Haley Stidham North.
Sharon loved filming her dance hour final in chemistry, even though it was out of her comfort zone. Collaboration and getting help from other people in the class of 2022 got her group through the challenge. She's proud of her club leadership positions, especially organizing big projects and events, which have allowed her to build friendships along the way. In the future, she hopes to continue creating art, trying new things like crocheting, and working on speaking Korean. Sharon believes her best adult self will be confident, hardworking, and open-minded. Please congratulate Sharon O.
The future doctor, Alexis Pollard, hopes to major in aerospace engineering and someday work with NASA or even possibly with Formula One racing. Alexis is thankful for her sister, who helped her to get her footing when she came to ICS in 9th grade, and feels she couldn't have succeeded at ICS without her assistance. The quote Alexis feels best captures her time at ICS is from the movie Finding Nemo, "Just keep swimming." Don't be too surprised if you see her on Survivor someday. Her fascination with the show would make her a great contestant. Please join us in congratulating Alexis Pollard.
"5 years from now, Samantha hopes to continue her education and expand her love of literature, a passion that was formed during a Focus Week trip to Greece, where she had the privilege of visiting one of the world's oldest bookstores. She's thankful for her twin sister, who has been a constant inspiration throughout high school because of her tireless work ethic and kindness. Taking the memories, perspectives, and experiences gained at ICS, Samantha will put them to good use to discover the world. Please join us in congratulating Samantha Pollard.
One of the memories that sticks most with Kyle is the time spent with friends, especially lunch back in 8th grade, when he and a particular group would sit together at a whiteboard, giving each other lessons on joke telling. He said that even though the daily gatherings have vanished, the amusement remains. He also shared that he is proud of his progress in math classes and was happy that his confidence in math increased more than he thought it could. In 5 years, he hopes to be working in a computer science-related field. Please congratulate Kyle Blake Ricks.
Alex's favorite memory from ICS was a Focus Week experience in 9th grade, going to Greece and watching the sun go down over a cliff. Later in high school, in addition to his academics, Afton often worked 20 hours per week and credits his time, and especially his manager, for challenging him to use his problem-solving skills, learn new tasks, and believe that he could succeed. In 5 years, Alex hopes to be a financial wizard on Wall Street, most likely following his advice to work smarter, not harder. Please congratulate Alexander Eric Schussler.
His friendships, including those formed while playing intense games of the card game Cash during lunch, stand out in Ishan's memory of his time at ICS. He's proud of the several videos made over the years in humanities and Spanish classes. Outside of classwork, he's been active in FBLA and HOSA and often qualified for state and regional events. He shared that science has always been my calling, and engineering is a broad field where I can apply my science knowledge to make things. He plans to go into biomedical engineering. Please congratulate Ishan Subramanian.
Max is most proud of some of his advertising projects and art he's made for them. His artwork and the thought he has put into his advertisements epitomize his growth over the last 4 years. In his words, he transitioned from drawing things that were abominations to decent paintings and renditions of characters. In the future, he sees himself being financially stable, while also being able to pursue his personal interests, and he hopes these coincide. He wants to build or draw things, but most of all, he wants to eat new types of food. Please congratulate Maxwell Voss.
Thomas is proud that the class of 2022 created such a strong community that has made each day of school an easy task. He's thankful for the solid math curriculum at ICS and has loved learning calculus, which he feels is quite easily the most interesting part of math. Thomas remembers playing Super Mario Odyssey with friends during lunch in 8th grade outside the kiln room, eventually succeeding at the impossible jump after an entire lunchtime of attempts. Please congratulate Thomas Welch.
Alex recalls getting lost in the airport with his friends while playing Pokemon Go during a Focus Week trip. He's particularly proud of his National Honor Society project during COVID, when he designed activity books for children and seniors that he shared with homeless shelters in San Francisco and Homely in Redmond. In 5 years, Alex hopes to have a job in an interesting field. Because he's still open to majors, he's not too sure what to expect down the line, but all he hopes is that he'll have accomplished something that can benefit others. Please congratulate Alexander Wise.
Lauren remembers being a little 6th grader at the moving up ceremony for seniors, hoping to make it off the floor, into a chair, and eventually to the top of the bleachers. She's proud of taking opportunities to impact the special ICS community, never expecting to become outspoken, opinionated, and confident. She dedicates herself to anything she has a passion for. In 5 years, she hopes to be her happiest self, living in California, chasing business ventures, and impacting the world the way she has impacted ICS. She believes gratitude motivates perseverance. Please congratulate Lauren Yates.
Ben remembers in 7th grade when a Native American guest speaker showed the ICS students how to make and use traditional carved stone scrapers. Mr. Over gave Ben his scraper, and Ben still cherishes it. He's proud of starting the ICS Club Sound and Musics, an audio production and music composition club. He says, it's an incredible feeling to see people get together and jam. He loves the tight-knit community of ICS, working and having fun with such a wide variety of people. He even wrote about it in his college essay. In 5 years, he wants to be a video game developer, making absolutely cool-tacular, splendicious video games. That's a quote. Please congratulate Ben Tinyang Yu.
Jeffrey's fondest memory is going to Max's house to work on their honors chemistry Dance Your PhD video in 10th grade. The final video was worth the work, especially showing the funny bloopers at the end. A skilled pianist, he hopes to continue his training in music, perfecting his abilities as a percussionist. He also plans to pursue a career in aerospace engineering. Reflecting on his goals in life, he wants to be less self-critical, let mistakes happen, and move on. Please congratulate Jeffrey Zhang.
Lucy is thankful for Camp Cispus, her Focus Week experiences, Spanish, and physics. She's proud of her creative writing, succeeding in challenging AP classes, and mailing handwritten letters to her classmates during COVID. Lucy is thankful for the kind teachers at ICS who are patient and passionate about their subjects and create fun, interactive lessons. She's thankful for friends who listened to and supported her, for family who have inspired her to be sincere, and who called her out when necessary. and for the many, many people who have given her rides. She says, stay classy, ICS. Please congratulate Lucy Zhang.
Thank you, Mr. Plank, Profe Brande, Mrs. Peterson, Mrs. Sullivan, and Mrs. Jackson. They especially wanted to be a part of this with all of you today, so thank you for that. Congratulations, class of 2022. At this time, your class president extraordinaire, Sharon, will come up and lead you in your final activity as an entire group. However, I believe it to be the most important activity you'll do together. There you go, Sharon.
All right, class of 2022, to signify completion of our high school diploma, please join me as we move our tassels from the left side of our caps to our right. All right, we're done.
Again, thank you everyone for being here. Thank you for celebrating our students. Thank you, Dr. Holman and other distinguished guests. We couldn't do any of this without you. Thank you. Good night.